Hello, so welcome to the first of quite a few advanced music writing lessons. So before you carry on with this lesson, this is going to be dealing with like say 2/4 marches, alright, like 2/4 competition marches. And before you tackle writing out music, I want you to go away, alright, and find maybe 3 or 4 drum scores that you know that you can play at a reasonably high level, and don't need to be top drawer level, but go get blank manuscripts. If not, use normal paper, copy them out as neat as you can. Alright, and think back to when we done the basic music writing, where we used the pen, the manuscript, the ruler, brought the stems down to the ruler line. Make it as neat as you can. And it's important that it's a drum score that you know. Alright, you need to know this drum score that you're about to copy out, because as you're copying it, you'll start to digress and digest what you're actually writing. Alright, and it'll start to make a bit more sense if you're writing what you're playing. Alright, and play it in your head as you write it. Alright, and see how you get on. It's hugely important that you do that before we tackle this. So, here is what we're going to write a drum score for. 2/4 march. 1, 2. Again, 1, 2. Done. And that's it. And that's just one little line of music. And then a wee rat in the queue. One line of music. Okay, so we're going to write it out at a bar at a time. So that right left flam. Okay, I'm going to give you the time signature just now. 2/4. It's going to be 2 beats per bar. Okay, that. In fact, I'll move the camera so you can see that. Sorry, there we are. So that right left flam is just before the first beat. So if you're counting in, 1, 2, right left flam. That flam's on the beat, but we need to show that right left is before the beat. So what we do is we write what's called an anacrusis, or an incomplete bar. And we would go in here. Okay? So it's right left. And I'll use my ruler here. I'm not going to be able to use it for all the lines because this whiteboard will smudge. And that's it there, right, left, and it's going to be a right flam next. Right left flam. And notice I'm not going to do the stem yet on the flam. I'm going to wait, okay, until, in fact I'll make that dot a bit bigger so you can see it. No matter. I'm going to wait until I know what note value that flam's going to be, okay. So, let's split the bar in half, like we were doing before. So, there's our wee split. So that's going to split the bar in half. It's a bit hard to see because of the light. I'll make the lines a wee bit thicker for you so you can see them more clearly. That's better there. And use a pencil for this so you can just rub it out, okay? So we've got right the flam. So let's deal with the first half. Notice my hands going to that beat. 1 and 2. So they're all quavers. Quavers. And I'm doing it on the correct hands. I'm going right with flam, roll, roll, and then on that right, I'm going digga digga da. So it'll be right with da, 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 digga digga da. That's the pattern there. Digga digga da, digga digga da, digga digga da, digga digga da. Digga digga da. So digga digga da. That last da is on the next beat. So it's going to be here. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 4 in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So, easy peasy. right le flam, duz, duz. So those roll, that's a roll from right to left, and then left to right, duz, duz, duz. And I know cha, duz, da, that's going to be 2 quavers. And again, think back to your basic music writing, 1 and 2, digga digga da. So that's going to be 1 and 2, digga. So that's going to be a quaver there. These ones, digga digga da, they can only be demi-semi-quavers. Okay? So if I do my line right across, and again, forgive that if it's a wee bit scruffy, because I can't really use a ruler without it smudging, digga digga da. So that's what I've got there. To finish this off, roll marks there, accent on that one, and then let's rub out our little dotted line. Nose chup, digga digga da. Finishing with our tap there. So that's our first bar done. Right, le flam, digga digga da, on the right. Easy peasy. Next bar, let's split it in half again. And we're going tap, ra-ka-cha, ka-diddle-diddle-da. So let's find out what's going in this half. Tap, ra-ka-cha, tap, ra-ka-cha, tap, ra-ka-cha. So that last flam is on the next beat. Okay, so whatever's before that flam, chap, ra-ta, chap, ra-ta. That's what we're going to play. So let's figure out the hands. So it's a flam. The rough is going left, right, right, left. Chap, ta, and there's an extra left tap there. Okay? That's what we're playing. And this is another way you can do it, okay? They're all part of the same group. Chap, ta. So I'm going to group them up right now. And then we can figure out what note values they are. And to do this, you can also split it in half again. Chap, ta. That's me splitting not just the whole beat. I'm going to split that in half again. I'm not going to do a dotted line, but I'm just going to give you the beat. Cha, ra, ta. So the cha, r, the rough, cha, ra, that's the first half. Here's your second half. So if you're splitting it in half again, each of those 2 halves need to equal a quaver. So if that second half's easier, cha, ra, ta, 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 ta. You could do that half first. Okay? So it's ta, 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 ta. It's a dot and cut rhythm. So to make them equal the quaver we talked about, they need to be 2 semis. Dot and cut rhythm. I'm going to dot that one and cut that one. That's the second half of that group done. It's just this one we need to figure out now. So if it was going to be a paradiddle, jigga digga da, jigga digga da, jigga digga da, they would all be the same. Okay, but it's going cha ra, cha ra. So that one and then these 3 are going to be different because you hear there's that slight space, cha ra, as opposed to jigga digga da. Jigga digga da. Okay? So let's do all 4 of them, and then because there's a slight space and the roughs are notes are a little bit faster, it'll be like that. Okay? And whenever you play a rough in simple time, it's going to be in a regular group. And then let's put our flam on. There we go. That's that group taken care of. Okay? So adding it up. Remember we spoke about when you do irregular groups, it's 3 in the time of 2, so there's 1 semi-quaver there. You're only going to count 2 of them, because it's 3 in the time of 2, 1, 2, and then you've got your dot, what was it called again, sorry? Sorry, they're demi-semi-quavers even, sorry, 2 of them. And then you've got a dotted semi-quaver, and then a demi-semi-quaver, which even themselves out is 2 semis, okay? So you would have your 2 other semis there. Add them up, you get your quaver. These 2 equal a semi-quaver. Added to that one equals your other quaver. Add these 2 together, you get your crotchet. And that is the value of your beat note. That's you adding it up. Okay? So let's get rid of that. And I can also get rid of my dotted line. Okay, because this next group is going to be flam, ratamaku, chap, da 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 da, chap, da da da. So let's write out the notes, or the hands. So flam, 2 in the left, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th one would be further along. Okay, so and I'm going to group them all as well. Done. And I'm going to put the flam on as well, just so we know what that note is there. There we go. Done. Now we need to group them up, or figure out what note values each one of them are. So you can either split it in half again, chap, digga digga dap, chap, digga 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 dap. So that digga digga dap is going to be on the beat, or that half beat. And then if we think back to where other bits of the music, digga digga dap, chap, digga digga dap. That digga digga dap and that have digga digga dap. They're the exact same. Okay, so they'll need to look the same in the music, as we've done. Now, we're going to do the ratma cue, or the flam double. Now, think back to how we written this one. Chap, ra, chap, digga dap. That flam and double are in the same time as that flam and rough. The exact same time. Chap, ra, chap, da da da. Chap, ra, chap, da da da. So it's going to be the same. The only difference is it's not a triplet, okay? Because you're only playing two of them. So you can't do two in the time of two. It's just two. Alright, you don't need to do the triplet. So that is how you write your ratma cue. General rule of thumb as well, and I'll write this here. Whenever you're doing groups of singles, like digga digga da, they're always going to be like that. Okay? So say you're going digga digga zzz up, you're doing a 7. That would be your roll there. Or you could take that roll out. Right? And I'm going to go zzz digga digga da this time. So I'm going to do the roll on this side, see if you can see. That will be zzz digga digga da. And then that next tap would be in your next group. Those singles, digga 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 da, they're always going to be semiquavers, or demi-semiquavers, sorry, even. And then remember we spoke about this group here. Cha, ra. If I wanted to do chicka digga da instead, I'm going to write that exact same group. Flam, and then it was left, right, right, left, left. Okay, these last two taps won't be affected. Whether it's a rough or a paradiddle, they're still going to be chip, ra, ta, or chicka digga da, ta, the exact same. So if I'm doing a rough, I'm going chap, ra. I'm writing it like this. If I'm doing chicka digga da, much easier. So there's no spaces or hesitation. Chicka digga da, same as digga digga da with the 5 singles. So written the exact same way. Okay. I'm going to make this my workings area, and I'm going to give it a wee scoosh because it's getting a bit minging. Because if I'm going to write loads of notes on there, as an example, I'm going to want it to be clean, eh? Or cleanish. It's never going to be mega clean. Right, so we've got right the flam, and then it was normal ending, or not a normal ending, but this is what we would play for the end of this tune. So the first ribbit thing we'll do, split the bar in half. So if I clap my hands, that's what we were dealing with first. So you'll be right, left, flam, flam, This one should be quite easy. Alright, so have a wee think of what you think this would be. Take the accents and the flam out, you're just going bum ba bum bum. Bum ba bum bum. So stretch, cut. It's just dots and cuts. Okay? So the 4 of them need to be semiquavers. Alright, because 2 semis equal a quaver. other two semis are a quaver, which added up make your crotchet. And then we're going to dot, so stretch, cut, stretch, cut. And then put our flams in. There we go. Ta, ka, cha, cha. That's that group done. Alright, and then there will be an accent here. And there'll be an accent there. Ta, ka, cha, cha. And I can get rid of a wee dotted line. Done, 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 done. Okay, so all we need to do now is the singles and the flamity. So we've got da, ka, cha, cha. So if I take the flam out, because that's on this group, it's digga digga cha, digga digga da, digga digga da. There's that digga digga da again. Okay, so it's da, 2, 3, 4, digga digga cha, flam, and that's ja da da, ja da da. So these are all the notes that we're dealing with. Oh, I'm going squiggly, sorry. Let's see if I can tidy that up a touch. Cool. I'm just going to shift my pad out of the road. Oh. So we've got da, ka, cha, and it needs to be chilla, chigga, da, da. And we know straight away digga digga da, digga digga da. It's the exact digga digga da, the exact same. The only difference is it's on the second half of that beat there. This is on the first half of the beat. The exact same digga digga da. Okay? That da 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 da. It's going to be that speed there, but we know that 3 semis aren't going to add up when we add this group up for music writing purposes. Okay, that's a flam. So what are we going to do to that 3 notes? You're going to make a triplet, yes. That was a wee bit TV-ish of me there, assuming that you were going to say that. You might not have said that. So remember, when we do the triplet, it's 3 in the time of 2, so you're only adding the 2 of them. Okay? So let's add them up. 2 demi-semis equal a semi, same again, equal a semi. You're only counting 2 of them, so let's get rid of one of them, and you've got 2 semis again. 1, 2. These 2 equal a quaver, those 2 equal a quaver. Add them up, you get your crotchet. That adds up. Okay? And then let's rub out. It's almost like I'm doing a test. I'm showing you my working. Please show your equations. I am showing you my equations. Right, and then to finish it, diz digga digga da, diz digga digga da. Right, let's have a look in the music where you've seen diz digga digga da. Where have you seen it already? There it is, diz digga digga da. It's the exact same movement, okay? And this isn't you being unimaginative, alright? There's only so much you can do with the drums. And if you see that, where you've written it before or played it before, it could be at the start of the bar, it could be, or the first half of the bar, it could be the second half of the bar, it doesn't matter, alright? As long as it's played on that beat, diz digga digga da, not miss, diz digga digga da, because that would be written differently. But it's on the beat, diz digga digga da, diz digga digga da, da, diz digga digga da. It's going to be the exact same, guys. So we write it the exact same. So there's your left to right roll, diz, digga digga. And then that last tap is going to be on its own. And there's a reason why I've not written what note value that last tap is. Alright, I'm going to put a stem on it. Alright, so it's going to be something. Oh. And if you were playing that on its own, with nothing after it, you would normally do that. Alright, you would normally have your crotchet there, and that would tell you that that's that last beat of the bar. Okay? Normally, if there's more than one line, or 2 lines, or 3, 20, 30 lines, whatever, alright, you would end up having a second line of music, and then you would have a repeat, if you're repeating it, alright. I don't want to make this video way too long because it's already 19 minutes as it is. I'm going to just make it one line. Okay. The one thing you have to make sure you do is this last group is meant to add up to a crotchet because it's 2 beats per bar. Alright. But if the very last bar or very last part of that part of music needs to add up to your anacrusis. And remember I said it was an incomplete bar, or when I called it an anacrusis or incomplete bar. The reason it's incomplete because it needs to add up with whatever's at the end of that part. And again, normally you would have 2 parts or 2 lines of music per part. I'm just doing one for now. Alright. So that and that need to add up to the value of the beat note, which would be a crotchet. So the value of these two equal a quaver. Alright. So this last group has to equal a quaver. So it's quite easy, we're doing just one tap. So that would end up a quaver. Okay? And I'll put an accent on it as well. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, let me know and I can do a video explaining incomplete bars or the anacrusis. So we've now got our line of music. We've got and am I missing any accents? Let's have a look. We're doing an accent on this roll as well, it seems, and we'll hit that flam. We're doing a flam there. Cool, everything's in. And that's it. That's our line of music. And when you're writing for a specific pipe tune, alright, you'll find that you'll come across loads of regularly played groupings. There's a couple that we've not played in this one. Okay, there's this. This is a movement that is played all the time in marches. You could have played it here. Rip the flam, and it would sound quite nice. It wouldn't sound out of place on it because that movement gets played loads and loads. Flam, rough, that gets played a lot. That one gets played a lot. Those get played loads and loads. That's probably one of the main ones that weren't covered in this line of music, is that phrase there. And remember I spoke about at the very start, I said copy out the music as often as you can. When you get a chance, copy it out, obviously, like tunes that you know really, really well. And then when you're doing things like this, play it in your head as you're copying it out. And then you don't have to memorise it, alright, and write it out by memory, because some folk will do that just by remembering what it looks like but not understanding what the notes are telling us to do. Alright, it's quite good to try your hardest to get a thorough understanding of what I done there and how it all splits up and how it all adds up, or splits down and adds up to the beats per bar. Okay, and again, this was the first. We've done a 2/4. The next video will be on, I think we'll go for, I'm not sure what one it will be. Just tune in to the next one. But there's going to be about 6 or 7 different advanced music writing videos that come out, okay? 2/4 march. 1, 2.